Okay, first let's do the exercise for the PMI. I think you learned already about PMI, body mass index. And let's suppose we have this kind of class diagram. So in this class diagram, oh, this is in the lecture week 10. Okay. This is the last week material. As you know, the first line, okay, PMI. This is the class name. And then the next section, this is the data. Okay. And the next section, this is the method. And you can see minus, 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 minus. It means those data are private. And you can see here the PMI when we declare, or when we call this is the constructor. Okay. So in some of the class diagram, if you specify the method name the same with the class name, so it means this is the constructor. Now we have a constructor, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 parameters. So how do we know there are 4 parameters? First, this is the name. Okay, this indicates the data name. And str. What is str? This indicates the data type string. H, this is the data, and this indicates the data type. Weight, this is also the data, and this is the data type. This is the data, and this is the data type. Then we have 4 data. Each of the data has their own data type. And we are going to create 2 methods. The first is get PMI, and the second is get the status. If we do this method, return the PMI, it means we need to calculate the PMI. If this one get status, it means we are going to get the status, whether it is normal or overweight, and etc. Okay, let's check. Maybe for us, let's check the material we did on the condition. I think in this section we have one about the PMI. Yeah, this one. Okay, so in this question we have the criteria. We can calculate the PMI, and if the PMI below 18.5, it is underweight. If it is in between 18.5 until 24.9, it is normal, and so on. Okay, so we can use this standard. Now let's do one by one. Okay, for your practice, you can try to do with your Google Colab. Okay, so you can also have idea Is there any errors or is there any things that you need to fix? Now let me create the first one is PMI class. So I can make the class PMI. I have the class PMI, and then I will not follow the AI because here we need to have a constructor, and in the constructor we need to have the name, its, width, and height, and also we need to have the private data. So what does it mean? Yeah, if you want to follow the AI, okay, yeah, this is the AI, but we need to modify. First, we have name. Okay, this is correct. We have its. Okay, then it means we need to add. We have its. We need to identify each of this variable. So we have self its like this one. Now, we need to make the variable as private. How can we make the variable in private? Underbar, underbar. Okay, thank you. So we need to put the underbar, 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 underbar. Then this is the constructor. So commonly, okay, whenever you create a class, you need to have get. Okay. Oh, you need to have get function for every variable. Okay. So that's why the AI suggests you first you will have the get name. Then next, yeah, you will have get its, and the next you will have get hit, and then next you will have get with. Okay. So this is just a decoration, I can say, or this is just additional functions. In the exam, I may give you like this one. So I give you the class diagram. I give you what are the variables that you need to have, and then what are the methods that you need to show. The additional functions or the additional methods you can create by yourself. Okay, so this is okay. You can have it, or yeah, if you do not have it, no problem. Okay, but in the exam, I will design something for you, and you need to follow this design. Now, let's suppose it is up to you. You can follow this one, or if you do not want, you can just remove it. Okay. Now, let's look at the content. We need to have the get PMI and then get the status. Okay. In the get PMI, def get PMI. Okay, so they have the, okay, let me remove name. Let me have this one. The PMI is the width divided by the height power of 2. Okay, so it is the same with this formula. The width in kilogram divided by height power of 2. Okay. Is that correct? Is it correct? No problem. Okay, let me just run. So whenever you create the Python code, do not make everything. Okay, so you can make one by one, step by step, and then try. Now let me make B. B1, for example, I will make PMI. Okay, so the AI give me one. First is the name, the second is the age, and then the next is the height, and the last one is the width. Okay. Let me run, and then let me call P1 get PMI. Oops. Oh. Why? Do you know why? Anybody? So in this case, yeah, if you want to access the method, then you need to make it as public. If you put the underbar, it means it will be a private. Yeah, you already learned private method, public method. A public method, it means you can call the method. If it is a private, like this one, you cannot call directly from outside. You need to call this one inside the class. Okay. Now, if you look at this code, sometimes, okay, sometimes, not every time, sometimes the Google Colab give you some ideas. Do you see this one? Do you see the yellow line? Do you see the yellow line? So sometimes the Google Colab give you idea. There is a problem here. Okay. So what is the problem? You can move your mouse and then check. What is it? Self is not divide. Okay. Do you still remember what we already learned yesterday? Okay, let me review a little bit. So, what is the difference between static method and non-static method? For the static method, it belongs to the class, not the instance. Okay. So they do not have access to the instance specific data. And whenever you do with the static method, you do not need to use self. Okay. So in the static method, there is no self because this is static method. But if it is the method inside a class, you need to put self. Then what we did on our Google Colab, this is an example of static method. Meanwhile, we are not doing the static method. We are going to use the non-static method. Non-static method means I will use this one once I have the instance. Okay. So I need to define self for every method inside the class if it is the non-static method. So I will do this one and then check. Then I will get the PMI. Okay. So please remember, whenever you create the function or the method inside the class, you need to declare the self. Now let me just explain first about the status, and then after that I will explain how to make the static method. Okay. If I want to get the status, get status, then because it is a method inside the class, you need to use sub. It is for the instance. Whenever you have the instance, whenever you get the instance here, then you can call the function. Okay. So let's do the PMI. It is the result from get PMI, and then we can do. Oh, okay. Let's check. If PMI is less than this one, okay. If PMI less than 18.5, underweight. Okay. If the PMI is more than 18.5 and less than 25, normal. Okay. If it is in between 25 until 29.9, so below 30, it is overweight. And if it is above, then obese. Okay, this is correct. Then I can run again. I can check get PMI and then P1 get status. So the status is underweight. Okay. Now, if I want to make the static method, how? Okay, so it is not in this diagram, but we need to create our own static method. So we can refer to this one. Whenever we do the static method, you need to have the decoration. So let's see with the decoration. We need to have the decoration static method. Okay. And then, okay, let's make the, okay, the get PMI category, for example. Okay, let me have this one. So you have the condition the same as above. Okay. But now we are doing the static method. Okay. So what is the difference? Here I have only one parameter and there is no self. This is the static method. If it is non-static method, you need to put self. Okay. Now I'm running this one. Again, I do this one. I do this one. I can get the status from here. Now, how can I access this get PMI category? if you do with the P1 get PMI category, there should be one parameter. The parameter is the PMI. Okay, this is the PMI. So let me just give value 0.002. Okay. This is working. Okay. Why this is working? Because we have this parameter. Regardless the self, okay, regardless the cells, we can access it with the instance or with the class name. So we have the class name PMI that we can do the get PMI category, and let's suppose we have a parameter 0.002 and we can get the result. Now I want to make this one P1 get PMI category, and I want to get the result from get PMI. Is it possible? Can you understand this one? I want to use the value from the get PMI, which is 0.0002, as the parameter for the function or for the method get PMI category, which is the static method, and it works. Okay. So if it is a static method, you can do with any parameter. You can do with any variable. You can do with any values, as long as it is the same with your function. Okay. It doesn't matter with the instance. But if it is the instance method, you need to put self. Okay, so you need to understand that one. Now we have the first exercise. Now let's do the second exercise. Write a client program that enters some students access a student class which have two attributes, name and GPA, and return the maximum and average of GPA from all objects. Okay, let's see. Suppose I have 3 students. The student 1 name is Bob. Student 1 GPA is 2.5. Student 2 name is Chloe. Student 2 GPA is 3. Student 3 name is David, and the student 3 GPA is 3.1. The student with the best GPA is David. The average GPA is 2.86. This is the class diagram. We have the class name. There are two data, name and GPA. The name is in a string and GPA is in a float. And we have the constructor, which is two data, S name, the student name, and GPA. And we can get the name, we can get the GPA, we can set the name and set the GPA. Okay. But we need to show this one. if you see this class diagram, if you see this class diagram, it seems that it is only to save the data. Okay. So it is only to save the data. We have this is student 1, this is student 2, this is student 3. And after I have the student 1, student 2, student 3, I would like to find the maximum, and then I need to calculate the average. Okay, let's create the class. Now I need to make the class student. In this case, we need to have two data, name and GPA. And according to the class diagram, two data are private. Okay. Then let's make the constructor def underbar init. Okay, let's do with the AI first. And let's define the name and GPA. So we have name and GPA. Then I will remove this. So the function that we need to have is get name, get GPA, and then set the name and set GPA. So I can do the next def set name, because it is the instance method. So make sure that you do with the self as one of the parameter. And then, okay, you have the set name, set GPA, get name and get GPA. So this is the class. Okay. Now we need to consider this client program. I need to do the loop for 3 students. It means I'm going to do a loop. Okay. Then let's say num of student. Oh, okay. Oh, the AI understand. Enter the number of students. Okay. So let me make, because yeah, we do not know how many students do we have. It depends on the input from the users. So let me input. And then I need to create, let's say, I'm going to put every of the input into an array. Okay. So I want to put them into an array, a list of students. So student 1, student 2, student 3, I need to save it. And then I need to check who has the highest GPA. So I need to check the maximum. And then I need to check what is the average. Okay. So let me just make the student as an empty list. Enter the number of students. Let's say 3. Okay. Still, there is nothing about this one. Now we can create a loop. So the loop will be okay. The AI give this one name, and the name is it correct? And the name of the students. Okay, student 1. Let's see. Student 1 name. Okay, and then student 1 GPA. So the format will be I plus 1. Okay, this one is okay. Everything is okay. So I have the name, I have GPA. Let me create an object. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, the AI knows. So I will create an object which is a student. The object student is an object from the class student. So the class student is this one, and it consists of name and GPA. So it consists of name and GPA. After I have this object, so I put this object into the list. I put the object into the list students. Then I use append. Okay. Okay, the AI give an idea to print the student. Okay, let's see. Enter the number of students. So I have 3 students. Student 1 name, let's say it is Bob. The student 1 GPA 2.5. The second student is Chloe, and GPA is 3.0. And the last one is David, and the GPA is 3.1. Okay, we got the result. Name is Bob, GPA is 2.5, Chloe, GPA is 3, and David is 3.1. Okay, now we need to check the next. We want to do the function to get the best GPA and to find the average. So if you look at this one, for student in students, the name is student get name, and the GPA is student get GPA. Can you understand? Maybe if you cannot understand clearly, I can make like this one. Print the name student get name, and then GPA. Let's say I put the comma, student get GPA. Okay, let's do one more time. Get 3, Bob 2.5, Chloe 3.0, David 3.1. Okay, so the student, for every student, it is in the list, and I want to get the name for the first part, and I want to get the GPA for the second part. Then I will get Bob and 2.5. I will get Chloe and 3.0. I will get David and 3.1. Okay, I need to access for every student objects in the students array. So this is the students list. If you want to check the students, you cannot see it. Why? Because this is an object. Students index 0. What is it? It is an object. So you cannot access it. But you can do something like this. Students index 0 get name. What is name? Oh. Students index 0 get GPA. 2.5. Then what about the Chloe? Index 1 get name. Is Chloe. It means you have the student. The students array, it consists of 3 students. The first student is Bob and Chloe, Bob and 2.5. And the second student is Chloe and 3.0. And the next is David. And the GPA is 3.1. But we cannot see this one. We cannot see this object because it is an object. In order to see this object, you need to call the method in the class. You need to call the method in the class. We have 3 students then, yeah, as I mentioned to you, this is the student 1, this is student 2, this is student 3. So this is the student 1, this is student 2, and this is student 3. Okay. Then, how if we want to get the maximum of the GPA? Then we need to do the loop. Okay. We need to do the loop. What is the loop? Means, okay, find the max GPA. Okay, you can get the maximum GPA. So the maximum GPA means we need to find where is the index. Okay, where is the index of the students? If we want to get the index of the student, it means index student. Okay. Okay, good. The AI give you one alternate solution. For I in range length of students. So as I mentioned to you, we have a list. The first student is Bob and the GPA. The second is Chloe and the GPA. And the third is David and the GPA. We are going to do the loop and then check for every of the GPA of each student. So student I get GPA. The student I get GPA and check with the index 0. So let's suppose the index 0 is the maximum. If the GPA of this student is higher than the index 0, then let the index student change to be I. If not, then the maximum is still 0. So if you do this one, then you can print the student with the best GPA is, what is it? Students in the index of student get name, and with GPA, students, index student get GPA. Then the students with the best GPA is David with the GPA 3.1. Okay. What about the average GPA? You can just do, let's say this one, sum equals to 0. Sum equals to the GPA for every student. And then after that, we can get this one and print the average GPA is the sum. Sum is the total of GPA divided by the length of student. So how many students do we have? There are 3 students. Then the sum of GPA will be divided by 3. Then we can get the average GPA is 2.86666, like this. Okay. Okay. Let's have a break. Okay, I will continue after the break.